Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sam Paiz Show. Today, we are rolling out a very special feature. My name is Victor Escalante. I am the producer and co-host. And joining me in the studio today is the man of the hour, Sam Paiz. Sam, say hi to our listeners.
Hey, I just want to say hi and thankful that I'm in another podcast giving my ideas and my opinions of what I think business is.
Today, we're rolling out, as I said, a very special feature that we call Wednesdays with Sam. Wednesdays with Sam is a condensed discussion. This is like a short version of the longer form discussion that we have on Fridays that you're accustomed to, where we give you a tip. The science shows that if you give someone a tip that they can begin to execute, and they're able to improve 10% over time, the exponential benefit is going to be significant. And that's the idea behind today's show, is to discuss the principles of success, that have made Sam a legendary businessman, and the trajectory that he's in to be, to have and own a publicly traded company. So let's dive into it. Sam, what can you tell us about the attitude towards money? What is the mindset that a person needs to have about wealth?
Well, in the beginning, all you're doing is chasing the dollar and how to make money and just really going after that dollar. But as time progresses, that you're in the business and you're creating and you're going without, you start learning that money's just a tool. And money is not the end result, but the result or the path towards what you really want, whether it's a new car, a new home, buying the better equipment in your company. So the mindset towards money, you have to look at money as a tool. In the beginning, if I was to go back and look at everything, I would look at money as a tool to obtain the things that I really want in life, whether it's business, my personal, or my spiritual goals.
And you're the kind of person that has always rolled the money. As it was coming in, you were always investing in equipment, in assets that would grow in value because of the use of those assets. It's called the butter or the sword principle, to where people would take the money and run and buy butter that you can't do anything with butter. But if you invested in swords, it's like you can launch a war, using as a metaphor, against your enemies in the marketplace. Excuse me, it's the butters are guns principle. I'll tell you who I learned it from is Robert Allen. Robert Allen, the big real estate guru from the 80s.
Multiple streams of income.
Exactly.
Yes, really good author on the multiple streams of income. Looking at, I was just talking to Texas Capital Bank, and I was showing them how I started as a mom and pop business, and I showed them the money sign inside a circle that I drew 3 circles, a small circle, medium-sized circle, and a large circle. And in the small circle, I show the money sign huge, and underneath the circle, I put expenses in small letters, because that's what happens to us in entrepreneurs. We know how to frame, sheetrock, roof, or sell cars, and we're making the money. And then we decide, I'm going to do this thing on my own, or I'm going to build a bigger business, not realizing the capital injection that you're going to need, because as we're making money, we're spending it for a better home, a better car. And instead of thinking, okay, I need 3 months of reserve, 6 months in reserve, I need to better the systems, the process, the structure to make more money, we go out and spend this money. And then when we have 3 months of chaos, we're in trouble. So then the middle circle, I show the expenses in huge letters and the money sign underneath the circle very small because of the contribution that you have to give back to the company. And this is what I did continuously over and over is injecting money into the company. And sometimes things don't go the way you want. Well, a lot of times the things don't go the way you want. I should say that. But make sure you pick a strong spouse, regardless, that'll understand what you're going to do, because there are going to be some times that are going to be very difficult.
That's right. It's been said that the success of a man is dependent on the partner that he chooses for life.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of truth to that. I know that you have lived it, and I have lived it myself too, is being unevenly yoked with the wrong person can yield to a lot of grief, a lot of arguments, a lot of headaches that demotivate you. And some days you just don't feel like fighting the battles, the daily battles that we must in business. Talk to us about understanding the true value of money and using it wisely.
The true value of money is depending are we in inflation times? Are we not inflation times? For a long period, we had low interest rates. And so I tell a lot of people in the 80s, I was paying 18% on a brand new car with great credit. And people are like shocked. I mean, the expression on the face, 18%.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. So for me in the 80s, going through what I went through, to a period where money was cheap. I mean, it was really cheap. But if you didn't have the credit, because your credit was ruined and everything, you were still going to be paying high interest with hard money lenders and just different people that you would borrow money from. But true value in money depends on the economics of inflation, where we're at. And so yesterday's money for me was at 18% was high. The present day money was cheap, where it was 3%, 2%. And then you're looking at future money to see what that cost is. So right now, future money for a lot of businesses that have to refi, it's high now, 7, 8%, because interest rates have gone up.
You're listening to the Sam Paiz Show. We'll be right back.
Do you have a tax lien on your business from the IRS? Do you owe more than $100,000 to the IRS and don't know what to do? Then pay close attention to this important message. Sam Paiz from LMS Tax Solutions can help you. For over 2 decades, Sam has been helping small businesses negotiate with the IRS, often negotiating for pennies on the dollar. Although no 2 cases are alike, Sam recently helped a business owner with a tax debt of over $1 million settle for $9,000. Call today to make your appointment and start fresh. 281-977-6572. Once again, 281-977-6572. Call today.
We now return you to the Sam Paiz Show.
So I just tell people all the time, what period are you in and what are you doing with that money that, for example, the difference between GE and Westinghouse. GE knew that if $1 went out in the business, $6 had to come back in. Westinghouse sent $1 out, but only $3 came in. This is the difference in companies and how they make money work for them. And so true value of the money is, how quick can you turn that money? What is the rule, the 72, the rule of how fast money comes back to you once it goes out?
Sam, this is a philosophy that you have acquired over time. Talk to us about 3 stages of your life, because right now you are at the top of your game. Talk to us, what was your philosophy about and understanding about money when you first started out? Owning a fleet of tow trucks?
At that time, being bilingual was an A+ for me in the tow truck business. I was the only Latino out there, and there was no other individuals that could translate for the police authorities in the area, and they were looking for a translator at a scene of an accident or a DWI. I was helping out as much as I could. And I was landing a lot of those owner consent tows, which the owner had consent to which tow truck they would choose. And of course, in Spanish, I was telling them choose my tow truck. But I went to 7 tow trucks. So really, as soon as I got into the tow truck business, it was like the Midas touch. Everything I was touching was gold. And I was just making money over fist, or that saying that the money was just coming in. And so then the oil busted in Houston or in Texas, and money just dried up. And so then I understood the saying is that when hard times come, money goes into hiding.
Yes.
And so it went into hiding. And so then you get into crisis, you get desperate. And so not all money is good money. And I don't mean bad people or drug money. I'm talking about there's people that you don't want to borrow money for because they're there next week. Where's my money? Where's my money? Or I'm getting divorced and I need my money. Those aren't true investors. Those
Right.
are individuals that had no idea what an investment is.
Yes.
So, I've gone through that period, and I borrowed from my clients. I borrowed from family, friends. And then you get to a point where you start analyzing the different individuals and you start making promissory notes. You start making contracts. So I've had huge companies like TaxWise, TaxSlayer, Drake lend me hundreds of thousands of dollars because of the result that I did in the tax business with them. But also, those are all contracts, promissory notes. And if you miss those payments, they're definitely quick to get the attorneys and get you into court and sue you over those monies. So you really have to tone those skills of managing. And that was difficult for me because in the beginning I was making money. Then all of a sudden I'm losing money because there's no money to be made because of the oil bust. But then now I really have picked up on managing money and how I borrow money and what interest rate and what are the terms of the deal on money.
Talk about the frugality of running a business. This was a principle from J. Paul Getty, that he was extremely frugal. He was tight. And so was Sam Walton, because when you went out to lunch with Sam, you had to pick up the bill.
That's right.
Because he expected everyone that took him to lunch to pay his bill, and he drove an old truck right up until he passed away. So talk about the frugality of money in owning a business.
So you hear the saying is always look after the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. I really didn't understand that. When you make money, it's you're tipping, you're doing things, and you're willing to spend without really checking 2 or 3 different vendors to find out what the best price is. And when you're saying frugal, I'm not talking about being cheap. I'm talking about analyzing the different products or the different vendors that you can use that are going to supply the same results that you're looking for. Now, if you're going to go inexpensive, can that individual deliver the product or the services that you're really going to need and not take any shortcuts? And so I look at that now because there's some people who want an opportunity and a chance, and they'll cut on the profits they make just to deliver a product or a service looking to the future of the contracts they can make with you. And these are what's called partnerships, relationships, and your sphere of influence. But if you decide to go cheap and just one time with these individuals, then that's what you're going to get, and it's going to cost you in the long run.
Yes, exactly. What is cheap, if there's no reciprocity for long-term business relationship, they're just going to take the money and run and do shoddy workmanship.
Yeah. You talk about Sam Walton. It was incredible. This individual and the team that he built, he always knew to hire the smarter people than he was that told him what to do. And he really hired some very intelligent individuals. But in the end, he had his passion, his dream, and how he wanted to lower the cost for individuals. And so he ran out to look for vendors in New York, and a lot of things he did himself, always looking for the best prices he could get. And he was a really, really genius of in the beginning days. It was a panty and bra war that he would bring women in to shop at his stores, at the Walmart stores. But he was very frugal. He watched every dollar that he spent, and he partnered with the right people, but he spent the money for the right team. That, if you read his book, Sam Walton, Made in America, it really tells his story of how he started in the beginning and what he did that led up to Walmart and its success.
Yes. Well, friends, we're going to leave it there because we want to bring you all kinds of tips and suggestions that you can use in your business. If you're a sheetrocker, if you're a construction worker, a framer, a finish carpenter, a concrete finisher, Sam is going to be guiding you and giving you the tips that he has implemented, as well as taught some of his clients to grow multi-million-dollar companies. So stay tuned. We're going to leave it there. We'll see you next time.